I'm going there. That's where we're going to, Malchus. So once I accept, ich mach Schule mit dem Matzav, dus is it. Whatever it is. I have anxiety, I have fears, I have jealousy, I have, I'm not the way I want to be. I'm too short, I'm too tall. I'm accepting my life, whatever it is, I'm accepting that's what it is. That is Malchus, that is Kabbalah Soil, I'm accepting it. What happens when I accept it? The way it works is as follows. There is a force of Ratzon, desire, that is pushing constantly. It's pushing. I want you to imagine that this is a reality actually. This is the way it is. The body is of Efer, it's sand, it's earth, right? It's being held, imagine it's a glass frame that holds a sand structure, a sand skeleton, okay? If you break it, the glass, then it's going to just go flying. It's just going to collapse. The whole thing is going to collapse. So too, we are in a pressure cooker that's holding us in like this massive gvul, tzimtzum, that's pushing. It's pushing, pulling, and then there is a pushing force. So together we are in the middle, gvul and bli gvul. I'm sorry, gvul is pushing this way, and then Kav Yosh is pushing this way. Okay? So it's pushing, and we are sandwiched in the middle. The squeeze that you're feeling is Malchus pulling. That's the gravity. That's why some days in the month you're better, some days you're not. It's the cycle. It's more push, more gravity, less gravity. Now, in this push, we have different balloons, different realities that we are blown into. Buvel and whatever else, the other Gulas and Sigaven, Mitzrayim, here we are now. We were also at some point we were in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is a mindset. Besides that, it's also the land. It's a mindset that goes Zuvus Chulav Idvash. It's a place within you that is in that consciousness. Just like when you're happy, or Shabbos, or Yom Tov, or whatever you connect to, you're in a different reality. You're in Eretz Yisrael. You're in a different place. That's the Skashras, Tzadikim. This is how we build on that. They're just leading us to the place. So, in this massive gravity push and pull, yin yang, it's like, imagine you have a vacuum that sucks. It's a filter, it's a circulation filter. So it's a chap tzechon. Now, especially if we are put into a yuck piece of jelly called whatever your life is right now, you're blown in there and you're just stuck. You can't hear and you can't see. You're seeing through layers and layers of fat. It's like a jelly, like a slime. As long as you continue pushing, you're fighting your matzav, you're not making shula peace with yourself, there's more and more layers of this heaviness that comes on. Because it's kulei ra, it's 90% ra. This physical is 90% ra. It's this way because it's malchus. We're very physically here, so in order to be very physically here, to wake us up, we have to be in massive nifrit, which means in separation, because up there everything is in a skalas. And if I'm in separation, it's dark, because really it's all one. It's Achdus Hashem, it's Yichida. One is V'haftal L'recha Kamocha. You got to find within you, find everything. So as long as I'm pushing, I'm fighting the matzav. It's like two people just at a standstill, but nobody's moving. Locked. The horns are locked. Keine Rikzit. You got to get smart with this. Just dive under the water. Surrender. Suffocate it completely. Shut it down. By not feeding it, by not giving it any life. Apply it to your life in wherever you are. It is what it is. Yeah, but I promised I'm going to give, and now I'm not a man of my word. You didn't choose this. You're not the boss. If you still think that you promised and you are not holding, my dear friend, you're far away from where you need to be. Because we're not doing nothing. We're just in a washing machine. It's your job, each and every one of you, is to find the surrender and find what I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whatever it is. Do the shtadlus, because as long as you keep pushing more, this is stronger than you. The casino is going to win. Wow, $5. Because they have enough. They're the bank, but the bank is turning. Because once you have these fire words in your head, then this burns everything. This burns anything that's not real. Anything that's not real is going to evaporate. It can't hold against this. I mean, imagine life without this word. Where are you? Without this Torah, without Torah's Chassidus, where are you? Without Pnei Yisrael Torah, without this. Okay, what is this really? What is it? It's Mordige Werte. What is it? The same way you eat food that feeds different parts of your body, you drink that feeds different parts of your body. Niglas HaTorah feeds one part of your body, and Pnimis HaTorah feeds. This is the fire of inside. This is the fire of the neshama. This is the one that connects us, gives us the map as to how to be connected to our Creator, and He's the most powerful thing because He's emes, and it's the strongest vibration out there, which is the truth. Because a lie, think about it, feel the lie, and then feel the truth. The truth it's the ultimate power. Now, there's truth on every level. The Goyim also have truth, but their truth does not tap into the same power that our truth taps into, because we are connected to the source. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And if somebody believes that their thing is true, good. This is Toras Emes. This is Toras Chaim, Eitz Chaim, Eitz Adas. Now, somebody asked that the letters, sometimes he learns and then he can't find it. Like you don't find it. Sometimes you find something that talks to you exactly. So we know that the oisias are alive. These things are alive. They have chiyas in them. And don't worry, we're going to explain it. So you're not going to think that I'm a guy from India that's telling you that it has life because it's cool. I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly how powerful and alive these words are. If you still think they're alive and you're waiting for the letters to come off the page, then you're still in ego world. You still think that that's where it's at because I needed to see physically. How far did that get you in life? To move from one physical to another. They're so powerful that these words have changed your life. They're living, they're inside of you. When you learn this and when you learn something else, what's the difference? When you read this and when you read something else, well, what type of effect does it have on you? That's how powerful these letters are. And when you're connected with the OCs, then you will find what you need to find. And how many times, the strongest point of it, how many times do we learn the same thing and every time you find something else? You learn the Pasha, every year you figure out something else. So they have life to it. And the same goes with the mezuzah and the tefillin. The mezuzah gets puskel based on what's going on in the house. That's why if there's a lot of, stuff going on in the house, then check it so it gets refreshed. Doesn't mean that anything wrong. It's a process where we're in a factory that manufactures light and fights with chashich. So it gets rough. Some days in the office is heavy. L'chaim, everybody. So, Shabbos Kodesh. It's hot with the Shabbos. What is Shabbos? Sheshes Yom Tavet, V'Yom HaShiur was V'Nofesh. There's a system in place that's set up with millions of kavim and things that are moving, all types of operations that keeps this place functioning. There is galaxies spinning fast and opposites spinning, so it creates massive friction. What do you say, 90 billion miles per minute or per hour? Per minute, I think. Per hour, per hour. Per minute, I don't know. Spinning these galaxies, and then it spins an opposite, this other wheel completely opposite. Imagine the massive friction that this causes to power, to generate all this energy that we're talking about, wild stuff. And this is us, Kulam B'Chachma Sisa. It's a creation of it, it's a thought. He's holding it in one thought. This whole thing is in one thought, one long breath, it's endless, it's Selah. Not even a thought, it's even the thought is a creation. Allah b'machshava, but not atzmos. We have no language for it. We don't know. We will. We're working on it. This opens it up to that. So the whole week, in order for you to get from point A to point B, you have to go through a process. Calling, answering, anxiety, feeling, guilt, remorse, angry. It's a process. Today was a good day. I didn't get angry today. Today was right. It's a process. That's the way it works for us workers, and then we are put into Paroi Mitzrayim. We're here, and we have to dealings, business. It's tough and rough. Children, spouse, all that. Just because the fields are not aligned, friction. That's the way we interact with our Creator on during the week. You hear that sound? Okay. On Shabbos, it's like the whole system gets shut down. Everything is shut down. It's complete choshech everywhere. Shut down. What happens is that we're moving up. We're going in Zah, and then from Zah, from Malchus Zah, then we're going into, in the morning, we're going into, by Moshe, we're going to Keser, by Arich, and then we go into, by Shalashudis, it's Raiva Derayim, which is Atik, it's lights out. We're in Atik, where the king sits in it with himself. He doesn't need anybody. He allows us in that room. We spoke about this. That's why there's a lot of people develop anxiety around that time. You're feeling the pressure, and it follows through this. It's a Shabbos, Sunday, but you no longer need that. That is just it's a massive shift. And because we are a chelik from that, so it pulls. And if you can't keep up, it's dark. So you think it's dark. That's why you got to learn at that time. Learn Chassidus, Chazar Maimer, or if you can, then wash and eat. But learning seems to be working. So you raise your vibration, and you tap into that, and from there you step into Havdalah. That's why we're not allowed to light fire on Shabbos, because he lights a fire in Atzilus, and we're up there. There's a beautiful mimer from the Tzemach Tzedek in that. We'll get to that too. And then Motzei Shabbos, when we light the first fire, is where we are doing the pula. We're bringing it back down. The women are taking it up Friday night, and then we bring it back. It's important to make Havdalah and all that. So, and the Rebbe says specifically to make it on wine. There's actually a story I'll post it about this guy that lost his eyesight, and the Rebbe told him, "You're not making Havdalah in Kiddush on wine."
This week.
It was last week. You saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On wine.
And I got a letter on Shavuos. I got a letter, open up a letter. He's talking about making Kiddush Havdalah on wine. right here.
Wow.
On wine?
Wine, yeah. Which I always go like, I don't want to open another bottle, and so it becomes a whole battle.
Yeah.
Because it stays there. But now this is it. Other Rebbe highest following.
It's definitely a story. It says in
The story is this guy, this doctor, about Tshuva, started connecting. I'm gonna post it. I didn't listen to it, but I just know the story. And he fell off. He was in his library. He fell off a ladder, and basically his eye went into his head, and he couldn't see anymore. Doctor said this, that. Like I said, I didn't listen to it. I just I know the story, and then Hill said it to me, and he spoke to Rabbi Groner, the Rebbe's secretary there, Gaba, and over there they call him a secretary. So
Wow.
he was the Mashamash and the secretaries, yeah. So then the Rebbe said, he had tinus, the whole thing, Hayatuchim. He's following, he became from, and he's following the thing. Why does he get such a zetz? I mean, so he's like, okay, you're not making Avdallah and Kiddush and wine. I know what you want. He made Avdallah, and he said his eyes started going lower, and he sees, he made a video. So Shabbos, everything shuts down, and Shabbos is when we're going into Atzilus. Shabbos is when everything you are doing, everything, wherever you are, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Because we are those type of people that carry that level of, this is who we are. That's the Chelik Elokai. We are his children, and which means that highest content, highest connection in consciousness. And that's the Bartan Shabbos. Now, when something is so intense and so precise and so high up there, you can't really do anything to connect with it. Because whatever you do, it's in Sheshes Mea Mainsa. You're in low frequency. Like, how do I communicate with somebody that's a super intelligence? I'm going to whatever, to my Rebbe. Okay, you sit there, you sit quiet. There's nothing to talk about. So Shabbos is a space where there's nothing to talk about.
Why do we have to take a story and make a skill out of it?
What story is good?
People take stories and they make a skill out of it.
Like what?
That story is the individual story.
Es ist nicht ganz Gila. In Chabad consciousness and du kannst Gila, du spielst mit der Geschichte mit kein ein.
So jeder muss eigentlich an der Maße meint, dass der Rebbe gewollt jetzt machen, am Dulam mit Wahn?
Es ist nicht ganz Gila. Es ist a Haru. Es ist like, listen, if you want this kav, then if this is
It was for the individual person.
let's say like this. No. The way it works, first, a Rebbe is not individual. Is a Rebbe Shekol B'nai Gula, and if you're under his umbrella, then whatever he says, that's what he says. He says it to one, says it to all. What difference does it make? It's a hither. You don't have to. But I'm for sure not doing it as a skill, I promise you. I've done all the skills. I'm not doing it as a skill. In the Chabad consciousness, there's no B'liya and Hara. They say Baruch Hashem and everything. Why would I even bother, feed that thing? Baruch Hashem. So it's nicht ganz gillis. It's a level of, that's where it's at. That's where it's at in Motzei Shabbos. In other words, the same way you have a l'chaim and it does something to your head. You listen to a song and it changes you. Whatever it is, food. This is how he's like Avdal. It's like do it on wine, and that's where you'll connect. That's the way I look at it.
I have a hard time adjusting to it.
Me too. So, leaving out. Shabbos is...
To communicate, so you're high, and so there's no communication.
Human communication, yes, very good. So no communication. So the only way to communicate is in the no, in the silence. That's why you have the Lamatas Melachas, Amalachas, that you don't. Now, Shabbos is very complicated and it's rich. Wus mikan is. You know, most people, you ask them, they're like, "Is not enough kicking?" You know, it's not easy. So you try. You know, you do the least and the most. You know what you could do. You know what you can't do. But whatever you do, do it intentional. And the most important thing is to tune in to the peace. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. You can be as calm as you want during the week. It's not, you are going, something epistrap finished. Something is always showing up. There's always somebody pushing. One ear pulling. Shabbos is living in it. We still see that there's a Shabbos, Kens of Mitch and Otiv. Gotta drink more wine. Okay. Nobody's saying Lacan. No, Lacan. Drink. Drink.
Moshe gaat zeggen, ik Moshe.
Dus als je drinken aan.
Moshe gaat Moshe drinken aan.
You always want.
Supposed to make him all asleep.
Hmm?
I'm supposed to make him all asleep.
Rosé works. But I think I'm moving the red right now.
Too bad. No rosé.
What are the other vials saying? Because the rosé is, it triggers a certain part of the brain that's lighter than this. This one's more in the body, and that's in the head. Think about it. It makes sense to you. So you feel the red and you feel the rosé?
It's different, yeah.
Right? So you can apply the same thing to the...
Abdullah is also a rosé?
No, any wine, doesn't make a difference. But I thought so.
Ja, we willen ziemlich wie de zwei Sachen kennen.
Welke twee zeggen?
Schoenen in de ruiking en in de vaatje rosé met Abdullah.
Ik ben gevangen met Shabbos, met de rood.
Met de rosé. Shabbos rosé.
No.
Dat is de flyer. En dan vragen we ons Abdullah.
No. Als mijn vreemd wel gewoon is, man, what I prefer. I said rosé or white, and then I said why? Because the rosé goes to the head. It sparks more like the brain. It's almost like it's lighter. It's more like kese. This is more in the body, like an indica and a sativa. Now, I said, got that? Apply the same thing to Abdullah, making it on wine versus making it on, I don't know, on tea or beer. That's it. I said apply the same thing, which I said before, is like the Rebbe is giving us a thing where the Motzei Shabbos spark is. It's in a glass of wine.
Okay, so it has to be the glass of wine that goes in the stomach rather than the head?
Rather than what? Than the tea?
The head? Vice was down drop. The rosé is the head, but...
Okay, we're going to follow up on this. I promise. No, I'm not. That's the one.
figure where the black can flow.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
It's malo, we go malo mato.
I can't know my voice is not aligning. It's a new song. I never played it, but I only played it to myself. So I can't schrijven hoe het doen. So, we're gonna do some stuff inside over here. So our name comes from Rabbi Yankov. Yes. Our whole existence is Rabbi Yankov. Moshe Adam do it. It's a whole Shiur. They're the 7 shepherds that they have their kav is supplying to us. It's not just light, going out and I'm taking off and I'm having a trip into light. No. It's we have oisias, we have letters. We have oisias that we can climb the ladder with. Silamus of Atzav Rishon Megia Shemaima is the right side of the ladder is Chesed, is Avram, comes down. The left side of the ladder is Yitzchak, goes up Gevurah, and then comes Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu in the 8 of the steps. There's a covenant so he holds the ladder together. We have oisias. We have letters. We don't, So the Torah is the letters. The Torah tells us exactly where we need to go. And that's the B'Zim English. I didn't finish the surrender thing to Gevurah. If you surrender to the matzah, what happens? I did finish it. Then everything falls away. Everything falls away. Once I
Then you can jump out, he said.
it's like shutting. You know how you have on the on the return. On the return, you have a paper stuck to the return of the AC. Like you put a piece of paper and it sucks in. Yeah, stem.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you shut down the AC? The paper falls down. So the minute I surrender, I check in. Now this is a very powerful piece that from Vorige woche bij Weisz. Very strong piece. So the Alter Rebbe says as I. The minute you surrender, listen to this. It's genius. You ready? This is like the highest level of dollars. Like on YouTube or one of these courses you would go, a workshop you would pay $50,000. That's what Tony Robbins charges for the advanced workshop. This is the advanced. This is it. Okay, right here. Alter Rebbe gives you the whole spiel. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not just selling this. This is it. In other words, I never write it. It's like Shiur tonight. That's it. I don't want to promise anything. I don't know. Why would I put myself out there like this? Let's count. Let's see what happens. What? I'm saying what like to put out, like to commit. We're afraid to care about it. We want to do it. Too much aanhassen. The Rebbe zegt care about. We are caring about. I'm caring about. Caring. My welt. So, Chachma is koyach ma. Okay? Whatever you understand, you understand. And whatever you don't, you're going to feel. And whatever you can't feel, you're going to breathe into. And you got it. You're there. Chachma is koyach ma. Koyach ma means chesed wants something, bina takes, whatever, the whole spiel. Chachma, the way Chachma operates, he is completely surrendered to the matzah. Okay? Chachma is the first guy that communicates with Kesed. How does he communicate with Kesed? Because he's koyach man, and basically Chachma is like mamash, like it's levels of and soif, genuzas, it's wild stuff, and we have access to it. How do I access Chachma? How do I get the attention? What's the best mashal I can give? I don't know. I don't have a mashal. I'm just going to go with the facts. I was going to say, like, how do you impress somebody that right? There's a note in the silence also. There's an important note in the silence. If you just keep hacking the ganze Zeit, there's a note in the silence. There's a note in the regular space. You can't be silent because somebody's going to cut you in. Over here, imagine the safety you have. You can just be silent and nobody says anything. It's like it's safe. So it's safe for you to go into self. So the way we have a direct. If you want to go through to Chachma, let's put it this way. Fine. If you want to work your way up into Chachma, means like you want to have understanding. You got to sit and learn now for 20 years to understand what's going on. Like to mamash to own it, to be able to. Fine. I'm exaggerating, but yes. Everybody here has been at work for 20, 30 years. It's a proper college, a university. You went through the whole night, whatever your experience is. In order for you to be able to sit and understand the word Yiddish, English, Oisius, you went through proper years and years of training. Years of training of what the word means. To everybody, love means something else. To somebody, it's a nightmare. To somebody, it's whatever your Oisius are. But there's a direct one nail hit to communicate with Chachma. It's called Abba Yosed Brata. Abba Yosed Brata is Abba, which is Moech. He nails Brata, the daughter, because it's Chachma Bina, the father and mother. Chachma Bina, father and mother, and we have to go through this whole process here. The midas and everything you're going through in your day to day is working with your midas to work bitter midas, overcome your anger and forgiveness, but collapsing, you can collapse this whole, which is now it's going to be Malchus is going to be meeting with Keser, which means we're not going to need the whole system anymore. We're just going to Yichida, going into oneness. Not elaborating on that right now. So how does Malchus communicate with Chachma? Very simple. Because it does the same. In Malchus we have the same technique that Chachma has, which is called Kabbalah Sa'el. In Chachma it's called Koychma. His power is in the silence. And here your power is by surrendering to the Matzav. Kabbalah Sa'el. I can't fight you anyway, so I'm just going to surrender. The minute you surrender to your situation, boom, Yaakov Chevel Nachlase. You pull that string from Chachma. How? Direct line. The same thing with the Tzvira. The light, Hoyt, Chesed, you have Chachma, and you have Chachma is over here. This is Chachma on the right side, in the brain. And the Malchus is that's holding my whole being is Malchus. Everything in my life is Malchus. It's the vessel that holds everything. Right? My life, my whole life is my ball. My good things, my better things, the wife, this is my Malchus ball. And it goes through levels and levels. Now, everything is Malchus. Malchus till we're Knesset Yisrael is considered Malchus as at a whole. We are holding Shechina, Kitchabricha Shechinta. We're making a yichud eventually when we get together. Now we're doing it on one-on-one, twos and whatever it is, whatever you have in your experience. All day long is yichud. So, all day long is yichud, mindful or not mindful. So the more sharp you get, the more mindful you get, the more you can cut out the middleman. So, but the minute you have Kabbalah's oil, you're pulling the string from Malchus, and because we are Yaakov, Chevel Nachlase, we're hitting it with Rachamim. What does that look like, really? What does it look like? Kabbalah said. You ready? You listening? This is still part of the facilitation. I'm giving you the technique that the Alter Rebbe says in Parshas Balescha. So, instead of me, if I am still fighting my situation, I'm one with the problem. The minute I surrender to the problem, all of a sudden, I rise up above. I'll tell you why, how. I rise up above. I don't like the way I said that. I'll tell you how. We're going to say we're going there. So, we're rising up above. What happens is that now when I walk into my Rebbe, it's not that I'm coming here to have a problem. I'm bringing this behemoth to the Rebbe. I'm like, listen, I got a problem over here. I have depression, I have anxiety, I have tivus, I have whatever your spiel is. Or the Rebbe is yourself. You bring yourself. You're doing your cheshbon. Like, my matzav is not good. It's richtig. So now, as we know from the Iranam, everything is letters, everything is oisius. It fell down into shvira. You're looking at imagine you're looking at your child. You're looking at your child like, look, I can't shkanatz again. He's struggling. He's struggling in parnasa, struggling in connection and compassion and connecting with the wife and the kids. That's called being ma'oire rachmim rabin. You're pashut feeling bad for yourself. You're not depressed. You're not an atzvus, God forbid, because that's nukva tohem rabbi. You're getting sucked into a whole different ballgame there. All right, a lot of mashka to get out of there. Okay, so that's not where you're going. You're going into meriris. You're getting bitter about like look at me. And when you're getting bitter, you're burning away. You're melting achle v'shaitza. You're burning away that bacteria. The reason why you're rising above is because once you surrender, you're triggering chachma. Chachma is shemen. It rises above. The oil always goes on top. The oil always goes on top. But before it turns into oil, there's two levels in chachma. It's chachma stima and chachma stima and chachma gilya chachma. I don't know if the Alter Rebbe divides in chachma stima because I think I'm bringing in from Ayin Beis here, but it's fine. It's all bazach, just in case. There's two levels in chachma. When chachma opens up, the first time it cracks, chachma is a salt grain. Chachma is a salt grain because it's where do I get to the salt grain? Because chachma is I can't do it. When there was tzimtzum in Ishgeblim Gunish, only a dry bone. Chachma is a trickle of that dryness, of that matter that was created. It's a little piece of salt, and anything that touches it, it's laser. It's a razor sharp. Chachma is just it doesn't give off much. The bina triggers it. From there comes tears in the eyes. The eyes are chachma. So the first signs of that Chachma hid is when do we cry? Either when it's too much sadness or too much happiness, which means that until now I used to say is because there's an overload of emotion. But what the Alter Rebbe revealed together with the Rebbe Rashab is that it's the first sign that Chachma got triggered, because yes, there's an overload of emotions, so emotions can't process it anymore, so you surrender and Chachma takes over. Koichma, boom. And the first signs that Chachma took over, I cry. Or laugh. But crying is even better, because that means Chachma was triggered. Chachma was triggered because I can't process and I'm ecstatic. Chachma triggers too much pain or too much excitement.
He's still trying to go back.
1 second. Breathe. We'll go over again, don't worry. So now Chachma gets triggered. So the first signs of the crack is first the salt, and then after that comes Shemen Mishchas Kodesh. After comes Shemen Mishchas, then comes the oil, where it starts flowing. Because once I surrender, I bypass this whole Mishigas. I don't need to talk to all these middle people over here, negotiating with Chesed, with Gevura, back and forth, my inner child and my upper child and my trauma and my molest. Like, okay, fine, good, we're holding space, but now feel bad for yourself, but it's not really you. Your higher conscience is in a body, and you got to bring it to a bitter. No, Maschka, nicht Maschkene, Ritze, Maschach, no Nimschach, whatever.
So the eyes gets triggered from Chachma, the eyes
Yes.
is Chachma.
The eyes are represented. This is Chachma Bina, the ears are Bina, the eyes are Chachma, and this is Kesed. So once again, just to tie it in, like just to give you a little, now that you have this, why are you laughing? No, I'm serious. Now you have this. When the Rebbe says to make kiddush on to make kiddush on wine, and so it's to make avdallah on wine, so your eyes are going to get better. You know what he's talking about? He's talking about Chachma. He's giving you the keys. It's like you're going into the week of Avdallah. Right, so that's the way. So it's not as good to me. No, that's where it's at for me. So that's the word. So now Chachma gets triggered, it rises above, and that is what happens when you surrender to your matzav, Kabbalah's oil, proper Kabbalah's oil, and from there is where it all happens. So this is Shabbos. Yeah, Shabbos is, we're going to tie into Shabbos. We have to, we have no choice, because it's a Shabbos here. Because you guys want to commit to a share, so I have to commit to a specific thing.
Yeah, but now I understand Shabbos benefits a whole week.
Shabbos benefits of the whole week.
The guy was saying, because if you surrender, then you can have Shabbos benefits a whole week.
Very good. I don't know what I'm still. Avichai? I don't know what. Yeah. Okay. So fine. So if you surrender, yeah, Shabbos a whole week. Yes. Fine. So I want to tie into that. If you surrender, yes. If you surrender, if you have the Kabbalah soil going into Chachma, you're in Shabbos the whole week. You're bypassing all the midas. Okay. Let's go like this. It's lofty. It's big, but we're learning a mimer now. This is the space you're supposed to get. Now you're going to ground yourself and apply as much as you can. Slowly, landing the eagle. The nesher is Yeracham Albanov. It's flapping its wings, clearing the way. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. The job, the work, slowly, and apply it responsibly. And it works. It's our consciousness. It's Chassidus. It's who we are. You don't need any proof. No maramakaimas. It's the maramakam right inside your heart. The same way it makes sense to you that when you have tears in your eyes, to wipe it, to blow your nose when your nose is stuffed. This stuff makes sense. No maramakam. Okay? Whatever. This is the maramakam. I'm just going for that other thing. In case, yeah. My short is still active. Like the hammer. Baruch Hashem. Sorry.
Chaim.
So here, the Alter Rebbe is telling us, we're going to learn this inside. I mean, it's so rich, it's so full. How much? We're still good in time here. It's 10:19. You hold it all. You want to wrap up?
10:30. Slow.
10:30. It was good. Okay, fine. I just want to know how many are in. We'll do 10:30. We can do like a little break and then.
Yeah.
And we'll post. Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll go for until 10:30. We'll do a 5-minute out, and whoever wants to come back in, if you want to learn, I can do. Maya, you want to continue on? Okay. Visit Matzah Medir. This Medan. Okay. The guys. Zendrasik. Ich habe mich gezwungen geworden, also ich kann eine Woche. Ja.
Sie ist auch
Moshe, du bist du?
Not sure yet.
10:30? Okay, fine, whatever.
Good.
Yes, he's doing. Yes, he's full, yeah. Yeah. 10:30? Okay. 10:30? Okay, fine.
I don't know.
Okay, we say this. You know, we'll do inside a few minutes. That's why I checked, so we're going to do a few minutes inside. Okay, she was like the papers, it's fine. Okay. So go echad ba'aretz sheyeh gili echad gam b'asiyah gashmis. In other words, we learned last week, I'm going to cover the as when Yaakov Avinu gezoekt for the shvutim shmaser shama kan Hashem echad. Is that what the Hashem? Hashem she'ein b'levene el echad. Ich can't put it. I'm sorry, I have to look up. Hashem she'ein b'levene el echad kach belibcha el echad she'ein kach ein b'levene el echad. And basically, what they were saying is like, "Vi dibist Yaakov Avinu, dibist in the scholars, dibist in Atzilus, and them doing in the Nifrit." But we got you. It's halt merkab. Them fully mikishim in matzav. So I said, "Really got full." Your job is to bring that level of kashem she'en belibcha elechad kach ein belebeni elechad. Also wie bei dir Yaakov Avinu is doen nur eins in hart, so auch bei uns in nur eins. Your job is, you have access. Your job is to bring that level of connection, that level of oneness here in your world. And anything short of that, you will not be fully satisfied. You're not going to be fully inflated. You're going to experience pain. You're going to experience pain trying to reach that too, but what's the alternative? You can experience the pain on a definite losing investment, or at least you go through the pain, but at least you're investing. There could be a positive outcome there. That same burning horse that wants to do whatever it is that you're doing, too, everything that he strives and drives for should be nor from Neibishtim. Lashem, Yud Kevavke. V'ratzon zeh, v'ahava zu, and they ratzon, they desire, they have a noldim and amshochem ha'seichel, des kim from seichel, tahane al dei is boinenus, shem is boinen b'gdulusa v'renemusa yizbarach. We covered this last week briefly. Through this meditating, how big he is. To basically recognize that he is everything and everything is it, and without it, there is nothing. In other words, it's not that we are Eibishter, but we are a part of him. We're backing ourselves. We're his finger, so to speak.
Even the Yetzirah part wants us to deny there? Like,
yes, I mean, you know that spiel. I told you that in Chaydet. You don't need this spiel for that. That the Yetzirah is also shliach from the Avishter. Of course, it's just here so we can see ourselves.
right. It's no competition.
It's a contrast. Listen, it's a contrast. So light can be here, so so automatically we can see ourselves. Now, why does he have to look so scary? Right? I mean, why can't we do like a nicer background? Show me the sunlight. The problem is that we are looking at him that way. You're looking at him that scary, so he's looking back at you that scary. So how do we change that? So now we're locked in. He's looking at me, so I'm looking at him. But at this point, he's already looking at me. My life already stares me down every single minute of it. So how do I change that? I'm already forced into it. I'm forced. Where do I go? That's called a skafi and a sapcha. You got to break. I know when I use the word break, we use melt, but break. First, you got to break. Break is you say, no, I will not give in to this that I need and want. It can be a simple thing. It can be as simple as instead of having 4 nuts, only eat 2. It's as simple as that. It can be any type of craving, any type of thing that you can make a change.
After breaking, it turns.
What?
So first you break it, then it turns.
Yeah, it's coffee and a sapcha. First I say no. I'm stopping the force. This is where making his roots and my roots and his roots. Okay. To machen, in other words, to make your rots and his rots, my rots and his gamarot shall never shabamas and ikri yitzar alis lashem lavade. It's coffee and a sapcha. V'rots and zev havs and lavadim. Okay. From the Zboinus, Lechenis of Pasik V'afta the Pasik Echad. His Zboinus, he's one, Zayin Akim V'aretz. Now, Ruchen is Gashmi, Yimshel V'afta B'chalav. One of the things is that we spoke about this Zboinus, and after this we'll wrap it up. When you daven, you say the Halalukas, we were talking about it last week. Another way of doing it is feel where you connect. When the Zuk Pesach Hasedecha, Asher Halaluka, Baruch Hashem, Lo'ilam, Mizman Laseda, whatever one pasuk you can connect to, or not, feel where, take one, Mizman Laseda, if it's Hashem B'Simcha, I'm not feeling the Simcha. Take that and use that as a trigger to find your Simcha. Take one line, whatever talks to you. He's close to the ones that call him from up close. He's close. He responds to. I'm not feeling that. Okay, so you're lacking sensitivity. You're lacking innocence. Because that is the same alignment as having a tmimus and to understand Torah. It takes a certain tmimus. Like, okay, it's some of them are, you have to just surrender to the idea of what Hasidus is teaching, how serious it is. Okay. L'chaim.